good evening, everyone. I hope you're having a fantastic State of the Union Tuesday. Um, Kind of an interesting State of the Union. We covered it on X, and I think we were all hoping for something about UFOs or UAP related, but none of that. It was a lot of chest thumping, um, a lot of bragging, and honestly, it seemed like just a lot more division. The midterms are coming up, so it behooves the president to make the right look like they're part of the winning team and the left look like they're part of the losing team. And for now, that is the case. But the issues, boy, the issues. I don't know. He's saying the economy's great. I don't know about y'all, but when I go to the supermarket, the economy doesn't seem so great. Maybe the 401k is doing a staunch stench, teeny tiny hair better. But that's not helping me when I go grocery shopping. At any rate, this show is not about that. This is episode 5, although for some reason the video said episode 4, but this is episode 5 of our continuing investigation into Jeffrey Epstein, the Jeffrey Epstein Files, and pretty much anything related to that. Flak Magnet will be joining us in a little bit once we get going here. And I'm going to kind of break down what we're going to go through. So we're going to start off, I put together kind of a montage for us, and we're going to start off looking at some recent releases from the Epstein Files. This is a interrogation video of Giselle Maxwell and an actual prison video of Jeffrey Epstein, which I'm not sure, but it seemed like it may have been some kind of a coded message. May or may not. I'm not sure. We've got our team working on it. And then we've got basically 2 phone calls into the FBI, voicemails. One talking about the defense that Maxwell is going to use. And then it's funny because in the interrogation video, she uses that exact defense. And another one saying that they can tie Jeffrey Epstein to Donald Trump and some of his dealings, which would essentially, I think he says something like take Trump down or something like that. Then we're going to go down a bit of a rabbit hole. So in my research, the early 90s, the mid 90s came up a lot because what's weird about that time is, I mean, Trump is Trump. He's Donald Trump, big shot business guy, but also having a very tough time managing his businesses. I think he kind of says it's because of the economy at the time, but you'll see by the amount of bankruptcies filed and the amount, over the years, I don't think it's been a bad economy that many times. So really we're looking at just kind of mismanagement of businesses, just kind of basic stuff. Can't turn a profit on a business, over leverages himself, gets into trouble, files bankruptcy, starts over, does it again, just at a very large scale because he's got that name. So in the 1990 exactly, Barbara Walters tries to call Trump on this, and we're going to look at a little bit of that. And then Trump starts palling around with the likes of John Casablancas, Jeffrey Epstein, and others that run in these circles of I'm not being exaggerative in any way, sense, or form that they were hosting beauty pageants for little girls. I mean, we're talking between the ages of 14 and 18. Though when you run the numbers and you look at the winners, the average age of the winner is like 14 years old. Okay, you have a beauty pageant for young people. All right, that's cool. But what about the fact that you have parties with so-called investors in these beauty pageants in the after hours with underage girls drinking and asking them to do little favors here and there? That's what we're talking about. This is what these scumbags were doing in the early 90s. And then somewhere between then and like the 2015s, Trump figures out money. All of a sudden, aside from the bankruptcies, he's not really having a lot of money issues himself. So I want to be very clear that I am not saying that Donald Trump did a lot of dirty dealings in underage modeling, which gave him a financial boost. Just because there is correlation, it does not exactly equal causation. I think the thing to pay attention to here, and the thing we all need to pay attention to here, is what they got away with right in plain sight. I mean, they didn't even try to hide it, y'all. And they're still not really trying to hide it. Just redact the names of powerful people that could get in trouble. Goodness. So if you're on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. Really helps out the algorithm and it helps this channel grow. I do really appreciate all of my subscribers, my members. Y'all are great. And I wouldn't be doing this without y'all. So as we wait for Flak's arrival, we are going to get into this video a little bit. And we will pause and stop and talk about some things as we need to. Here we go.
I haven't spoken about this before because it took a while to process. But since our culture has changed so much, I realized that this is the backstory that a lot of people don't know about.
The Look of the Year contest became a kind of fishing hole for some executives of elite. It was a place where they singled out both girls who were vulnerable and might be sexually available and girls who had powerful attributes that might become very successful.
And then down this large staircase, in front of all of us, there was Donald Trump, and behind him there were 3 actors. I don't want to name them because they're all still around. They came down the stairs and spread out like sharks among the girls, who had broken up into little clusters throughout the room. During the 5-day competition, it was very clear that there were opportunities to go out and party with Donald. The contestants were led to believe that if you were nice to certain people, good things will happen to you, and I think that's why girls were going out.
Since 1996, let me repeat that, since 1996, the FBI has ignored tips. Then, U.S. attorneys gave Epstein a sweetheart deal to avoid significant jail time. The government simply disregarded the law and ignored the victims of these crimes. There is no question that Epstein and Maxwell were terrible criminals.
Okay, so Darren and I are sitting here, You can hear the echo. I'm pretending I'm talking to Darren. So, hi, Darren. So, Sarah and Nadia, are you guys having a good time? You can see I have a little sore on my face that I got from some black guy trying to kiss me. It's really disgusting. It is fun. Oh, it's really, oh. Anyway, I have pictures up on the wall. I had to borrow the Scotch tape to get the pictures on the wall. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
My name is Sam. To Google my fraudulent CIA dossier, misspell my first slightly, K-O-R. Anyway, long story short, for personal security and other reasons, the story that I got was that Miss Maxwell is going to use a number of legal defenses, one of which is that when she was soliciting females at Mar-a-Lago in what appeared to be a high-end brothel, she had no reason to believe that any of the females working there would be underage. She was not an American. She was a British national. The people involved were very high profile, and she thought everything was on the up and up. How would she know that minors could be working at a company that was serving alcohol, which nude people were working around? Anyway, my cell is 4. This has been shared with Cohen and Gresser, with Mr. Chris Evedell, Esquire's office.
Who were the other 17-year-old masseuses they were aware of?
I'm not aware of any.
Were there any 16-year-old masseuses you were aware of?
I'm not aware.
Any 15?
I just want to be clear. The only person that I'm aware of who claims to have been, and we have to, I've established that I was 17, given that she had changed her age so many times. The only person that I'm aware of that was a masseuse at the time when I was present in the house.
I'm talking about during the time that you were working for Jeffrey Epstein.
Right.
Can you list all the girls that you found for Jeffrey Epstein that were under the age of 18 to come work for him in any capacity?
Check the form of foundation.
So I didn't find girls. I didn't look.
You choose the word.
Well, no, you don't choose the word. If you have a question, ask it.
List all of the girls that you met and brought to Jeffrey Epstein's home for the purposes of employment that were under the age of 18.
Check the form of foundation.
I've already characterized what my job was, which was to find people, adults, professional people.
Adult persons, individuals under the age of 18.
I only looked for people or tried to find people to fill professional jobs in professional situations. But I think we've established was 17 and a masseuse.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Is she the only individual that you met for purposes of hiring someone for Jeffrey that was under the age of 18?
Check the form of foundation. Mischaracterizes their testimony.
So I didn't hire people. I met people.
Use the word hire.
Yes, you did.
I said met.
Yes. So I interviewed people for jobs that were professional people for professional things, and I'm not aware of anyone aside from who clearly was a masseuse aged 17, but that's, at least that's how far we know that I can think of that fulfilled any professional capacity for Jeffrey.
So that's the exact defense that gentleman left on the voicemail that she was going to use, was that, I would bring people there, but I just assumed they were all of age. They're drinking and stuff like that, and I wasn't in charge of hiring anyone. Like, I didn't fill out paperwork, even though she kind of did. And so, yeah, I didn't know, which is complete bullshit. and we all know it's complete bullshit. And then we had Jeffrey Epstein before that in prison talking about a gentleman tried to kiss him, so he got a sore on his lip. I don't think that's how that works that quickly. But probably a punch in the face. I don't know. Or was it some kind of code? Was that some code he was using to get a message out to someone? You know, because it's not like if you're going to say, hey, I'm going to throw my dead man switch if you guys don't get me out of here. You can't just say it that way, right? You have to use some kind of coded speech. So my hunch is that was actually not the message he said was actually not the message. I believe that was some kind of a code for another message. How does this tie in with Donald Trump at all? Well, Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein Files almost 40,000 times, y'all. We cannot ignore that fact. We can't be like, other people are in it, talk about them, talk about what they did, what the implications are, but the guy that's in it like the most, except for Jeffrey Epstein himself, we want to give that guy a pass. I really don't understand where that comes from. Mr. Magnet, how are you, sir? Glad you joined in.
Good evening. Sorry, I was running around trying to get some coffee and cough drops and all this together. I don't have my cough drops now.
Oh,
so,
no.
I don't know. If I sound like shit, I apologize.
You sound great, buddy. Yeah, you gotta get yourself situated before you start talking, right? Otherwise, nobody wants to be uncomfortable when they're trying to have a good conversation.
Oh, touche. It's the sneezing, though, that I'm worried about. Like, I just had like 6 sneezing fits of like 15 sneezes in a row.
Oh, my God.
I never do that, dude. It's like a strong one that usually wakes everyone up in like a 3-block radius, or
right.
a succession of, I guess, like machine gun sneezes.
My son will do that sometimes. It's like, bam, 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 bam. And I have to say bless you like 6-7 times in a row. I'm like, all right. That's the 8th time I said bless you enough.
You get to call him a drama queen after 4. Like, that's
is that what it
in my house. Yeah, I'm a drama queen at that point. I'm looking for attention. I think.
Queen. Oh man, so I don't know if you're able to catch any of this so far. I'll just fill you in briefly. But what we've seen so far is there was an FBI voicemail that was left that explained the defense that Miss Maxwell was going to use, and then we watched the interrogation tape where she used that exact defense, which was ignorance. I didn't know they were under 18. I assumed they were old enough.
Right, like between that and who else just recently did that, where they gave up the ghost. Leslie Wexner, actually. The whole time he's saying, I can't remember, but then we go into these long, super detailed stories about everything,
right,
and how he met this one, and how he met that one, and then introduced this one to that one, and they were wearing yellow slacks that day. It's like, you sure have a pretty good memory for a guy with faulty memory.
Right. Can't remember that, though. So, yeah, it's interesting how that works. Selective memory.
But yet, Ghislaine did that, too. This one, recently, though, this new one, she got her fucking act together. I think she said about 6 words, the whole thing. The other one,
yeah,
she would give little bits, and she would get pissed off on the stand, and like,
yeah,
like if
she had an attitude
question,
during this one.
Oh, she had an attitude during this. That's
slightly,
weird.
yeah. And so it's interesting. Well, yeah, these are people, they think they're above the law. So, they can't believe they're being made to sit in a room and answer questions.
She seemed happy when she did the other one while she was in jail and then got swapped, to the light puppy prison.
Right.
She had a big old smile on her face, and then after that was over, they handed her a big Tupperware bin of bunch of shit, because I think it was like grayed out or a frosted color, so you couldn't see what was inside
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, it's so obvious that was a deal. You'd have to just be an idiot not to realize that was a deal that was made.
Key and Peele had an episode where there's like two dudes get arrested, right? And then one dude gets pulled off into a room, and like they're yelling and screaming, and you hear like slamming a notebook on the thing. And then he comes out and he's sitting next to his friend on the bench, and his friend goes in and they're laughing and giggling. And then all of a sudden his friend comes out with some French fries, and he's like, "Motherfucker, you talked." And then he just like ate the fries and like kind of shuffled off. That's what I feel like this is. But
Yes.
both like in the same woman, being Ghislaine, you know, but this new time around, if she had an attitude, that must have meant that there was a different questioner, you know, different inquisitor.
Yeah, and what's of note is that someone knew the exact defense she was going to use and told the FBI that, and then she used it. And then, you know, speaking of like facing consequences, it's funny because as I was researching for this episode, I'm looking into Trump modeling, and I think they eventually turned it into T management because they didn't want to call it Trump modeling management. They turned it into T management, and T management, Trump put a guy in charge of T management that had gotten in trouble for basically fraud at another company. And he said, "Yeah, but this guy's good with women." Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So
Jeez.
then the guy gets arrested. Okay. Multiple charges of fraud, tax evasion, all this stuff. Guess who just pardoned him?
Good old Donnie T.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. I see how this works now. I see how it works.
Yeah.
You just got to do bad shit, but be friends with the guy, and you will get the benefits. You don't even got to give him a hand job or anything. Just to get the sweet pennies without any of the fun stuff.
Yep. Just be in the
circle. Because I assume reciprocal. You know what I mean? You give one out, you may get one. Perhaps, you know, if he's a gentleman, clearly he's not. You know, we figured this one out.
We did. Okay, so now what's interesting is that you've probably seen this before, but I've cut it up. But we're gonna see a little bit of Barbara Walters' interview of Trump in 1990 when he would try to actually answer questions he was challenged on, and then we're gonna get into this John Casablancas character because he's an interesting one. I'm talking about a guy that's married both a 14 and a 16-year-old.
That's not cool, but it's awesome to get into Casablancas. Like he's in a lot of different things.
Yes,
yes. The Octopus, I believe, was, or that was Annie Castle.
Oh, I'm sure.
But yeah, okay, all right. Let's dive in, sir.
I'm sure. All right, here we go. Oh, hey, who's that?
When Tybo was still the rage.
My name is Aaron, Aaron. My last name is Goodridge, Goodridge. My direct line is, and I would like to provide some information that I think it might be very valuable in how you can expand the Jeffrey Epstein case into destroying Donald Trump.
In May, Forbes magazine reported that Trump's financial worth had dropped by 2/3 to $500 million. In June, Trump missed a payment to the bondholders of his Trump Castle Casino in Atlantic City. The Trump shuttle, which he bought last year from Eastern Airlines, wasn't making a profit. Manhattan's largest tract of undeveloped land, all 76 acres of it, was just sitting there. Trump bought it 6 years ago for $95 million. It's still undeveloped, and there are no buyers in sight. Trump's bankers had a choice. They could force him into bankruptcy or loan him more money. He had to relinquish a great deal of control over his empire, and Trump had to either get his assets to produce more money or sell them. Well, the new book is entitled Surviving at the Top. There are many people who would say failing at the top.
Well, I think what the press has done is taken a situation where they see something and blown it to kingdom come. I've never seen anything like it.
You write in your book, my bankers and I worked out a terrific deal that allows me to come out stronger than ever. I see the deal as a great victory, and eventually the rest of the world will too. Being on the verge of bankruptcy, being bailed out by the bank.
Well, you don't have to say that.
Skating on thin ice and almost drowning. That's a businessman to be admired.
You say on the verge of bankruptcy, Barbara, and you talk on the verge, and you listen to what people are saying.
You still got over 100.
Well, that's fine. And what do they say? I mean,
Like,
depending
he's
on
got
which
a
bank
point.
you're talking to, what do they say?
You have a little more debt than most people. You're something like $3 billion.
It's amazing, right? It's like, well, that's just because bad reporting.
Oh, man, I wonder though, like how you could fuck up a casino, like
dude, hundreds of millions of dollars he got. He tries to say it was 10, but in liquid it was like a couple $100 million.
Yeah, that's crazy. Just the casino license alone, to be able to do that size of gambling that far away from where it was.
Right. Oh, and this gets better, you know it. So here we go.
You also have a little more assets than most people.
Okay.
It's a sort of an interesting phenomena. I have many friends, they are negotiating with their banks the same as I am.
Some of your friends have told us that you deliberately missed a payment on the Trump Castle debt so that you could negotiate this deal with the bank. Is that true?
Did I deliberately miss it? In other words, did I just say I'm not paying it for
because then I can deal with my banks and I can get short-term, agreements over the long term.
Well, I don't want to comment as to whether or not I deliberately missed
Why
the
not?
payment. I think that the deal that's been worked out is a fair deal. The castle is doing very well. It's starting to do really well.
And the Taj Mahal, which was going to save everything, is just about breaking even, and your other two casinos are down 20% from last year. You have debts to pay back.
Right.
You have huge loans to pay back. You say the country is in a depression. What makes you think?
I love that Trump Entertainment Resorts, he filed twice. Once in 2009 and once in 2014.
Oh, I might have diluted it or purchased it back from himself. Who the fuck knows what that's about?
Like, what the fuck, dude?
Like, all right, so these are all these. I'm wondering, because the way he's acting, he's like, yeah, if you had 200 different properties all over the world at different prices, like, yeah, sure, you can lose one or two.
Right. I have assets.
Fine, because that's what he was saying. And then he was
kind
of also making it out to be like, what I say happened, like the movie The Producers. If anyone hasn't watched it, watch it.
Great movie. Yeah.
But it points out that there is ways to make a fucking ton of money off of failure.
Absolutely.
And it's not illegal either. That's the wild part. Maybe it's illegal, but if you don't get caught right away, 7 years and you're golden.
And I don't know if you watched that whole video with the Epstein and Bannon interview from the FBI files, but he gets into that fractional loans, where banks can loan out more money than they actually have. Very interesting stuff. I think he
1 to 9 was wild, right? Like it was a 1 to 9 ratio. For every dollar they take in, they can loan out 9. And that was when it first started. Now it's well above that.
Oh, I'm sure. The average regular trader, like if I wanted to trade, just a consumer civilian trader could do day trading, and I could do fractional trading, and I can trade on what ifs. And it's gambling at like a corporate level.
Yeah, it's only gambling though. Like if you're a normal guy, but if you're, let's say, what was it, Bud Light? We'll use a super hypothetical situation where a company took on a bad. Yeah, they totally may or may not. I don't even think Bud Light is a beer. I mean a soft drink or whatever it is.
I think it's a beer, but mostly water.
So they hypothetically took on the worst endorsement possible that made absolutely no sense and kicked their demographic square in the nuts to go, we want a younger demographic. But like Bud Light is a college beer. You know what I mean? That's like dorm room special. So I don't see how they could go younger than college. That's kind of like the youngest you can legally go, and they don't even let booze on campus most of the time. So.
Right. Well, I can't tell you how many 40s of St. Ides I bought as a teenager because of Snoop Dogg. So it does work.
Dude. Hell yeah. Old
Pour out a little something for your homies. Pour out some for your homies. Yeah. Okay. So here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 if you count that same one twice. So 6 bankruptcies in a span of less than 20 years. But he's a great success. Remember that. He's a great success.
That's weird because like you file for bankruptcy, you're not allowed to do a lot of different things, right? Because they're forgiving your debt in a way. So you're not supposed to go, I don't know, spending extravagantly, start a new fucking business right away. You know,
Right.
like I think it's a couple years.
Well, chapter 11 is a little different because with chapter 11, you can write off some of it and keep some of it to keep the business and still keep things running. So even though you filed chapter 11, the business itself could still be running, which is crazy.
That's nuts. Yeah, that's absolutely nuts. That's like telling the wolves that there's blood in the well, maybe not wolves, sharks. It's like giving them a handwritten note. Hey, blood in the water.
Yeah, like fractional lending. Absolutely. Okay, here we go.
That you can pay back those loans, and further, what your bankers have told us is that the only way you even have a chance is by selling that property out there totally, the plaza. Look, your bankers wish you well. When I talked to your bankers, they said, we hope he does it. What I am saying to you is, you did overextend yourself. Okay?
I think it's unlikely the plaza gets sold. I think it's unlikely the shuttle gets sold. The shuttle is doing very well. We started off with 12% of the market. We're up to 50% of the market. Now what happens with the fuel oil? I don't know.
Have you had any bidders? Anyone want to buy it?
Yes,
Why haven't you
absolutely.
sold it?
Because I'm not satisfied with the price and because I'm not sure that I'm looking to sell the shuttle.
That Marla Maples did not cause the breakup of your marriage, that you and Nirvana would have split anyway. But didn't it hasten it?
No, that's an absolute correct statement. Marla Maples
did he just say
is a friend
Nirvana?
of mine.
He was
I have
in
a lot of
Nirvana.
other friends.
Say, the fun is in the getting, not the having.
Nirvana.
If I'm not mistaken, that's exactly what I heard. Was when you left Nirvana? Is that Kurt? Did we have Kurt in a disguise? I can't believe it.
Ivana, buddy, Ivana. Yeah.
That makes way more sense.
Yeah.
You know?
Now you got it.
That's
I rewound it just in
absolute
case.
Correct statement. Marla Maples is a friend of mine. I have a lot of other friends.
She's just a friend.
The fun is in the getting, not the having. Does that include women?
That's an interesting question. I think the hunt is always fun, whether it's deals, whether it's women, whether it's anything.
The drama started when Donald began cheating on his wife, Ivana Trump, with aspiring actress Marla Maples. Donald eventually married Marla, 2 months after she gave birth to a baby girl. But by the end of the decade, Trump was single again, and he seemed to enjoy the dating scene.
The reputation of Donald Trump, the man who dates a different woman every year.
I've been with a number of women, but it's been over a fairly long period of time. I've had great relationships with women. No, not my choice. I think my choice might be you. Look at the legs on her. Boy.
Can you imagine how controversial I'd be? You think about Clinton with the women. How about me with the women? Can you imagine?
Well, I mean, I think there is a certain controversy to me, and I am single, and I do go out with women.
An invitation into Donald Trump's world. Footage from 1992
Did you see
found
that
in the
fucking
NBC
Nephilim
archives
behind,
shows
Jeffrey
the
Epstein?
future president welcoming Jeffrey Epstein to his
I
Mar-a-Lago
think Trump is
estate.
like 6'4", and that guy was like fucking 17 feet tall.
Who's this guy to the left of him with the porn stash, or to the? I guess it'd be his right with the porn stash.
Oh yeah, that guy. That's a Skeezy Eddie.
That's
He's a good guy. He's a beast with the ladies. Wink,
That's
wink,
a guy
nudge,
that'll get
nudge.
rid of the bodies for you right there.
By himself, he's a real team player, and
He
he's a
likes
team
to.
all in one.
He likes to do it. He likes to do it. All right.
The get-together more...
So this is what's crazy. So 92. So that interview was 2 years ago with Barbara Walters. Financially, he should be stressing the fuck out. But 2 years later, he's divorced, remarried, had another kid, and then divorced again, all within 2 years. And now he's partying with Jeffrey Epstein. Now, something else happens in 1992 as well. And that is the Look of the Year contest that Donald Trump sponsored and hosted. The Look of the Year contest has been going on since the early 80s. But in 1992, Donald Trump let them use his plaza and other facilities. Donald Trump rented out, what is it, the Spirit of New York, whatever that giant yacht is, and took a gigantic group of underage girls on a cruise.
Oh, does that sound like somebody we know? It does. Sounds like every Sultan. Sounds like a Jeffrey Epstein. Sounds like all the other ones. Maybe I'm just noticing a pattern. I could be crazy.
Right. And I want to be clear. I am not saying Donald Trump fixed his money woes by associating with these dipshits. What I'm saying is he is one of these dipshits.
And these people, they were parasites too, right? Like
Yes.
you can see it. You can see it in the letters between Ghislaine, her sister, and Epstein and Leslie Groff.
Oh, man.
And so basically, the Richard Kahn too is another one of his assistants. But all these people were constantly fighting and climbing over each other, trying to one up each other with women for this dude. And another thing I noticed is why I mention a pattern is because you can follow it through time, all the way from where the emails begin, all the way till he died. Where now this is the fucking wild part to me was. I wonder if it wasn't looking into Jeffrey Epstein and all that stuff. Did some of these news agencies that were reporting how bad Ukraine was with trafficking and stuff, if that's what it took for them to realize that? Because there's at least 3 different women that were hitting him up talking about, hey, I just started a modeling agency. I want to do some kind of model show. Basically, all this stuff that he's doing in the 90s, he is still doing, but is only at now a little tiny portion in the 2019s. He's got then personal scouts that run out and just bring him women from Estonia, Latvia, Malaysia, all these crazy places, right? And then you have the money laundering and his what looks like intelligence behavior.
100%. And
now I mean,
Maxwell seems like a 100% spy to me. I don't know how she doesn't seem like. I mean, she's flying helicopters, she's piloting submarines, she knows all the right things to say and when to say them. Her dad was intelligence. I mean, that lady's got to be at least tied to some agency, right?
Well, this is what I'm basing it off of, right? Just the photos in the all of them that we've seen grouped together, right? Like where you can get a notice the pattern a bit quicker. He has taken photos of everything.
Yeah,
everyone. There's girls that are complaining in his. Hey, I guess it's like his photo album thing where they're like, hey, spent time with you here, but technically he didn't spend time with you because there was not a time without everyone or cameras. Like even his girls were like, what the fuck are you doing with the cameras all the time? Like, aren't we supposed to be doing illegal things that you don't want filmed?
Yeah. And a lot of times it's them doing the filming.
Oh yeah. But I'm talking about when he's out, all his diplomatic shit, right before you get into the raucous behavior behind the scenes, and some in front of the scene. Apparently, couldn't keep his hands off things. But he was I don't know. He was a bit of a fucking maniac, man.
Well, if you go to the Epstein site and you just search model agency, it comes back with over 300 results. So we know there's some stuff in there. I mean, I've just kind of started touching the tip of the iceberg, but
I would also triple that because remember, that's not the only way it's worded, especially in some of these businesses. It could be talent agency, could be this, could be that.
Absolutely.
So you
management.
You just found a small tranche of what could be 1,500 emails about the same subject.
Yes. Yes. And I can tell you that the 5 to 10 that I have had a chance to go through, not good. Not friendly. Not good. Didn't get out good vibes.
I found what I think is an email from Ghislaine to him in, it's like 2011, 2012 time frame. So it would be like maybe around October, November to March, where she chews him the fuck out and is like, no wonder why I haven't seen you in a little while.
You have to send me that one, yeah.
And then she talks about him having a baby. Then I found ultrasound pictures in the thing with a fucking name on it.
There are ultrasound pictures in there, yes. I have seen those.
If you zoom in and you look at the corners, you can read all the information on there, like what hospital it's in, the
I have not done that, but
you can see the patient's name. They didn't fucking redact the HIPAA stuff.
Oh my God. They're so stupid, man.
That's why I'm not sending it to you to display it on the screen. I'd rather not
I wouldn't
dox
want to. Yeah,
potential victim, you know. But
they're already dealing with enough, I'm sure. That's what's crazy is just they make sure to redact all these powerful, shady people, and they let a HIPAA violation slip. But I remember looking through the files, looking at one of the picture file downloads, like the big folder full of these pictures. And I was sitting there with my wife and we came across that ultrasound and I was like, what the fuck? And I looked at my wife and we kind of looked at each other like, what in the hell? And I had this thought. I wonder if that's one of these girls that he got pregnant, sending him a photo of it saying, I'm keeping it or whatever, or bribing him. I don't know. But yeah, we thought the same thing, that it would be his baby. Because why else would you? I guess a friend could send you that, but it's awfully strange to have in there with a bunch of inappropriate videos and photos and stuff.
Well, that's kind of intimate. I think I've only ever seen them on somebody's fridge or somebody personally shows it to me out of their phone or something. I've never been sent one, like maybe that's because I'm not the belle of the ball, maybe if it was my baby, I would receive this, but I've never been on the I don't know, never been in a serious enough relationship to have children. So it never happened to me.
Let me tell you this, when you're there and they say, do you want to do a 3D scan? Tell them no, because now the technology may have gotten better, but when they showed my daughter 16 years ago on that thing, she looked like a velociraptor. And I was like, I don't want to see. Let's go back to the 2D. Let's go back to the 2D. I'm sure it's gotten better since then, but it was not a good photo.
There's a 17-second video in the files as well of another ultrasound. Where I just took a screen cap of it so I can remember what EFTA number it is and all that. But
right. How sad is it that half the population knows EFTA?
Yeah.
You have to make a rap song out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's messed up that there even had to be an Epstein File Transparency Act in the first place.
But you knew that's what it was going to take. They weren't just going to voluntarily give it.
Yep. Did you hear Poland is investigating the files, and they're going to arrest anyone in Poland who has anything to do with it?
Good.
What the fuck is up with the U.S., man? Like,
Dude,
we're supposed to be the best when it comes to justice, and we're the worst now.
So I think the problem is the money. So I think that I think a lot of these guys literally control a good percentage of our total economy, and they know the devastation it could cause by busting some of these guys.
I don't like that, because that is a way that Hillary can get out of the same boat, right?
All of them.
But I don't like it because with Hillary and Bill, it's a little different because they're in the same ranks as Trump with presidential families, So like they could pardon whoever the fuck they need to in order to stay out of jail for whatever amount of time.
Yep.
But it's just wild to know that, like, I don't know. I thought there were some rules growing up. I didn't think that, okay, as a poor, I could just become a politician and then get away with murder, literal, actual fucking murder.
No, they fooled us, bro.
Crazy.
They played us. We both grew up wanting to be good people because it's in our heart, it's in our soul. And that's what they told us good people do. And a lot of it really, it is what good people do, but it's also how bad people can completely take advantage of good people.
Exactly.
Yeah, it just, man, life, right? It's one of those things. But to me, and I'm not getting all religious, but to me, that's why you got to have faith or belief in something higher than yourself. Because it can give you that foundation. But that's just my personal belief.
And that's a faith-based too. That doesn't need to be specifically to a certain type of a religion. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because I'm the same, but I grew up very similar to you. You know what I mean? Like I had a religious background, and my thing was like all right. So I love Jesus, right? Jesus is great.
Me too,
don't
buddy.
understand the turning the cheek thing for everything, because then it oh man, I just seen so many people get like, I don't know, torn to shit for no reason.
Yes.
Where like you could have defended yourself a little bit, like defended the church in different ways, like instead of just covering things up,
Yeah.
But that's just organized religion. It's organized government. It all has its own trappings that have nothing to do with the core moral values that are absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, 100%, man. When it's people that are running it, and it's a generational organization, yeah, there's going to be some fuckery for sure. And we've seen it, like from the biggest churches to the smallest. It happens. Okay, so we were. I'm sorry to get off track here, but we were talking about, or I was talking about, look of the year, because I think you're going to be kind of shocked when you watch some of this footage and you realize these girls are kids, right? Like they're being treated as adults. They've been separated from their family. They're moved into this place in New York City for weeks on end, completely isolated except for each other. And the whole time they're getting it banged over their head what they have to do to be a successful fashion model. And if you're good enough, we'll give you over $100,000. Some of these girls come from the fucking hood, and $100,000 contract would change their life. So just think about that. Just think about that.
And you also have to realize, like, they don't have parents most of the time, or else the parents would say, "Hey, this doesn't sound like a good thing." Yeah,
the parents aren't there. They separate them. They isolate them. The parents are not there.
Plus, what I'm working on now is the trafficking fundraisers that these people were all attached to, because you have Ghislaine attached to them
on the
have
same
Epstein.
wavelength. Yep.
Like it's disgusting, because those are you see it in the emails how like there's this one guy Ramsey that he's talking to where they're discussing women from Ukraine, and he is saying that the problem with the women from Ukraine is they don't want a normal guy. They want a guy with billions. They want diamonds. They want money. They want a car. And so he's telling Epstein, he's like, dude, rent a car. You fucking fly him out for the weekend, show him a good time, and like they're yours. Like what are you fucking doing over there? Because this one girl kept going back and forth, and between Epstein and him, they're talking about how big of a pain in the ass she is. So at the end of it, that Ramsey guy's like trying to get him to just sleep with one of these girls. I guess because he gets an extra paycheck or something. Like I don't know why you're so attached to why he's not molesting a certain woman that you suggest. Like to me, this doesn't make any fucking sense unless you like your job there. Like I don't know what traffickers don't half-ass, don't pull a half a work day. Like it's only McDonald's employees that understand their job sucks. It's fucked up.
Yeah. Well, because they're you're totally right, dude. They're the sad thing is, and I think you'll see it a little in this documentary, is that these children, everybody wants a piece. And they're fucking kids. Like they should be going to school.
That's a scary
in
part
fact,
too.
One of them says at one point, yeah, I'd like a tutor so I can go back to school because I'm 14.
Like that's a scary part too, because like in those situations, the women have absolutely no choice in the matter. Right. Like the ones I'm talking about are 20 plus.
Yeah.
Still trafficking, you know what I mean? But these
Yep.
women have made the choice not to fuck around with this guy. To that's why I'm bringing it up that they're going back and forth with each other. But these kids don't have the same choice. You know?
No, they don't. I mean, especially, like I was saying, if you're from a poor family and your parents think it's on the up and up and you're excited to do it and you see that $100,000 grand prize and you're 15, 14, like the prime age to make terrible decisions. Come on, folks. They're banking on that. They are banking on that.
I feel like that's the underlying plot to Bohemian Rhapsody, man. Like, if I'm being honest, like think about it. I'm just a poor boy. He's standing trial for a murder, right? But you don't know who he did it for. If he's poor, why is he bringing that up? Like unless it was for gain. It seems like something really, really odd with that song now. And I know he was very vocal about things.
I'm gonna have to go through that. My wife is a huge Queen fan, so I'll have to go through that with her sometime.
I was
okay.
Fifth grade. I had gotten a bicycle for it was like Christmas or graduation, something like that. But I had gotten a bicycle, and my dad had Queen Greatest Hits in the radio, and I Want to Ride My Bicycle comes on, right? So I'm singing in the back, and my mom turns around and goes, "How do you know about your gift?" Right? Not realizing that it's in the fucking song. She just hears me singing this, so she fucking loses it. Then my dad stops the car and he's like, "What are you doing? He's got no idea what the fuck you're talking about." And then I even reiterate, I'm like, "I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're ruining this song." And I still didn't put it together until I got home, and they were like, "Here's your bicycle." And I was like, "This is why you're being a lunatic in the car about a song." I was like, "What did you give me? Queen tickets? Some fucking 10.
Oh man. That's so funny, dude. I could just see that happening. That's that's hilarious. It's funny. The first Queen song I heard was Bohemian Rhapsody, and I'll never forget it because I was in like the 7th grade, and I used to do the alarm clock thing where it would play the music. So I'm starting out, I'm half asleep, and the song Bohemian Rhapsody starts, which is a song I've never heard. And I'm hearing it as I'm waking up, and I'm just laying there listening to the words, and my mind is exploding because I've never heard this before. And here it is first thing in the morning. It was just so crazy the impact music can have.
Perfect wake-up song too, because the tempo just builds as it's going, and then because like at first it doesn't sound so like rock and roll, and then you hear like the guitar solos and shit. Oh, Queen was so goddamn good.
Yeah, they were
so damn good, dude.
Extremely talented. Okay, let's get back to the extremely talented. So where we left off, we got Epstein and Trump at a party. You all have seen the video before, I'm sure. But we're going to get into kind of this contest and how I think it's representative of a lot of what's going on. And then to finish it, we're going to talk about Karen Mulder. And I'll tell you who that is when we get closer.
Before Epstein pleaded guilty to prostitution charges in Florida, both men are seen enjoying themselves. Trump.
I had prepared thoroughly for a long meeting with Donald Trump to explain to him why this was going to be a very big success. In fact, I hadn't finished my 3rd sentence. He said, "I love the idea, let's do it."
Welcome back to the Look of the Year. Once again, here's John Casablancas to introduce tonight's judges.
Monique Billard. Lintas, New York. He is Stone Roberts. Mr. Patrick de Marchelier. She was the winner in 1989 from Spain, Inés Sastre. And our host here at the Plaza, since he owns the place, the president of the Trump Organization, Mr. Donald Trump.
Now, the audio on this was so bad, I cut out the last judge that he announces, which is actually Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I recall John inviting very powerful businessmen to be a part of the judging panels. He just thought it was good business to bring in very wealthy men around very young, beautiful women.
Donald Trump was a judge. I don't understand why he was there in terms of context of a fashion show. How could he judge it?
Contest is the ultimate contest for women that want to go all the way in the modeling business.
I mean, it all depends on how I act this week. You know, I mean, I've just as good a chance as anyone else, but I mean, everyone's so beautiful, so it's kind of hard. So mostly, I think it's going to depend on everyone's personality.
Hi, I'm Christina. I'm 15 years old, and I'm from Austria, and I love my country. Hi, I'm Adele from Australia. I'm 16 years old. I come from Australia, the home of the kangaroo. Hey. There's some energy there. Whoa!
Some of them are from some of them are from villages, you know, and they've never even attempted modeling before. And
a lot of these girls never, you know, they're from small places and they've never probably been around hundreds of people, let alone thousands.
Hello, I'm 16 years old and come from Denmark, and New York is a great city. Hi, I'm Ulla from Finland. I'm 19 years old. I'm from...
Hello, my name is Amy Smedley. I'm 15 years old, and I come from beautiful horse country, Northern California. From the wild north Canada. 15 years old. I'm Emma Booth.
A lot of girls got their hair cut, and it was like drastic changes, but they went from looking like 13 to looking 20.
Half of you are going in a bus to the hairdressers.
Your hair is very bad.
Because the photographer wants you to do things that you normally would never do, and you have to change your personality so fast.
Great. With your left hand, give me back. Watch your light sword. That's it. Perfect. That's the shot.
It's a little odd being like really young compared to everyone else, but it's not bothering me really at all. I've only been in modeling the business for like 3 months.
If a 24-year-old was in New York and tried to start at 24, no one would talk to her. Because she's too old. I think the judges like boob. Definitely.
Hi.
Okay, Emma, tell us a little bit about yourself. And
well, I'm 15 years old, almost 16. I'm from Canada.
Yeah, she's so young, though. You know, it's like you can.
Yeah, that's terrific right there.
Yeah.
You just watched in real time these girls all brainwashed into believing this bullshit.
Okay. My name's Dana Douglas, from Philadelphia.
Absolutely. And if you didn't catch it, after that girl says, oh, she's just so young, what that guy said next to her was, yeah, but her bust looks great. And the lady agrees with him. Yeah. Yeah, actually it does.
15, I like to exercise. I'm 16 years old. I enjoy modeling a lot. I just started a little while ago, but I really do like it, and I'd like to just do whatever it takes. My name is Adele McLean. I'm from Australia. I like windsurfing, water skiing. I like heavy metal music. I like big dogs and chocolate.
Also, ladies and gentlemen, if you're surrounded by predators, do not say you'll do anything for an opportunity.
This is making me so angry.
Dude, I know. Stick with it.
What you gonna?
And no, not anymore. And
She also likes to argue with me. So
yeah,
you like,
it's the great.
if you were in the top 10 of this contest, you have opportunities to travel. You're still so young.
No, it's not
How do you
him,
think
but
you
I've
will
never
work
wanted
that
to
out
fight
with school
Bob
or
Lazar
something?
more in my
I would
life.
probably get a tutor, and because I would like to get a tutor so I can go back to school.
Our winner, she's 14 years old. She's from Chicago, Illinois, Marianne Mulder. She's the Look of the Year in 1992 and the winner of a $150,000 contract with Elite.
She's just so young.
I think she's got everything I dream of, and it says that she's got spirit, she's got the smile, she's got a few things. She's somewhere in between that Cindy Crawford, Stephanie Seymour, and everything that's best that America has to offer.
When I got off the plane,
No, dude, she's not any of that. She's a fucking kid. Sorry.
That's
Not
weird. Like I
sorry.
thought that there was like a cap too, because this is essentially a child working. You know,
Yes.
like you'd have to get papers and all that shit. I had to do the same thing when I was in
Yeah.
high school and had to get a fucking job, you know, because I'm not
Yeah.
a rich kid, you know. So
Well, what I get into after this is that the Trump modeling agency actually had illegal immigrants working for them. Fletcher wants to know where their parents are. Fletcher, their parents think that this is a completely legitimate modeling competition, and they have sent their children to New York City with quote-unquote chaperones who aren't there half the time.
and anyone who also doesn't think this is creepy, I suggest just go to somewhere you can drop your headshots off and try out for something, and then watch them tell you what to do, put their hands all over you, take fucking articles of clothing off.
A fucking kid.
I was pulled off the street for Ford modeling when I was like 23, and it was at Diesel, like I believe the one on 14th and Union Square, and they were doing some big contest. And me and my friends were walking by, and like there was a line outside of Diesel for people waiting for it, which is fucked up anyway. But I'm walking by, and somebody stops me and is like, "Hey, do you want to try out for this modeling contest? You'll be a Ford model, you get a contract, this, that, and the other." And I was like, "No, I got shit to do." And I was continuing to walk away when he grabbed me by the arm, and he was like, "I am pulling you off the street, not because I want to fill up a roster, but because you look better than half of the people that are on the line." And he said that to the people on the line. He very fucking rude. And I was like, all right, fine. You know, like I didn't have that good of a job at the time. So I was like, all right.
So
all
you
right,
checked
fine,
it
whatever.
out? Yeah.
So
How'd
I went
it go?
in. Dude, they pulled my fucking clothes off like I was one of these models, right? And this wasn't for a lingerie or a swimsuit contest or anything like that. This is men's GQ. Like this is super high end modeling for like men's suits.
Yes.
So like, I don't know, just having like 6 grown men poking and pulling at you and like handing you clothes while you're half fucking naked isn't fun. And as a 22-year-old, strong in my sexuality, heterosexual male, like I can handle myself, but no means no. They didn't do anything that I would have considered abuse or anything. They were just fucking handsy,
Right.
you know. So like at that age to know
But you're
what
23.
it felt like. Yeah, I was like 22, 23 at the time.
Imagine
So-
being 14 and 6 states away from your parents.
and not knowing what money is and hearing $100,000, you know, like I
Right.
had an idea for money. I probably could have spent it in about a week. But at 14, if I would have heard that, it would have been a totally different reaction.
Right.
You know?
Now, and you see this and you go, okay, well, because of the age of the contestants and everything, and because most of their parents aren't even in the state, then we need to do everything on the up and up. But they don't. They don't do anything on the up and up. In fact, you will be disgusted when you hear about what they did in 1992, the year that Trump hosted this contest.
To New York, I did not think I was even going to make it this far. I mean, I thought just go, you know, have fun, get to see what the whole modeling business is like now. And this is overwhelming. I can't believe any of it. This is just too cool.
The next Look of the Year model, the recipient of a $150,000 elite modeling contract, is Heidi from Denmark.
The culmination of the entire week that these girls have been through ended up at this grand party. Everybody got loose and crazy, and there were no chaperones. Parties were the payback for all of these so-called investors or friends. Liquor flowed, quite literally. The inhibitions were gone, and the guests were friends of Johnny's. We laughed at some of these guys. You know, they're To us, they were clowns. They were idiots, chasing young girls. I haven't spoken about this before because it took a while to process. But since our culture has changed so much, I realized that this is the backstory that a lot of people don't know about.
You get some beautiful women around these days because I'm sick and tired of this.
The Look of the Year contest became a kind of fishing hole for some executives of Elite. It was a place where they singled out both girls who were vulnerable and might be sexually available and girls who had powerful attributes that might become very successful.
I remember this Italian girl, extremely naive, who couldn't speak any English. She was easy prey. They were all around her. We were a bunch of kids, just put there with all these older men.
And then down this large staircase, in front of all of us, there was Donald Trump, and behind him there were 3 actors. I don't want to name them because they're all still around. They came down the stairs and spread out like sharks among the girls, who had broken up into little clusters throughout the room. During the 5-day competition, it was very clear that there were opportunities to go out and party with Donald. The contestants were led to believe that if you were nice to certain people, good things will happen to you, and I think that's why girls were going out. I remember attending a dinner with John Casablancas and Donald Trump. This time it was a private area, a big table and lots of girls. I'd say around 10 to 15 of us, all between the ages of 14 and 18. It was just us models, Trump and John. We were all underage, but we were offered drinks. I went home early, but other children stayed.
That's absolutely insane.
So this was the boat cruise.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. It's like right out in the open too, and advertised, and like, I don't know, when you're supposed to do charity and volunteer work. Not saying that this is fucking charity or volunteer work, but you give money out to a thing. Like, I thought there was no payback. What the fuck does he have to pay these people back for?
Right. And so these snippets are from a story that was done. I mean, this story was printed, I think it was 2002. But nobody cared. Contestants who were 15 remember being asked to walk for Trump and Casablancas and other men on the boat. An organizer told her that if she refused, she would be excluded from the competition. I knew in my gut it wasn't right, she recalled. This wasn't being judged or part of the competition. It was for their entertainment. While Elite's official brochure stated that contestants were aged between 14 and 24, all of those the Guardian has spoken to competing in both years were aged between 14 and 19. Some had come to New York with parents or chaperones in tow. Others were alone. Many were away from their families for the first time. I mean, this is crazy.
It's also like the playbook for a predatory activity. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Just they had their IQ test, right? Like, that's what the whole judging process was. Then you have like the molding, which was I guess during the judging part too, because they were being sent all over, right? And then you have that whole brainwashing angle where they're filling their head with garbage. And then you have the fact that most of those girls aren't in their home state, let alone a place with any comfort.
It's like how you would start a cult.
Yeah. That's what I'm basically describing is what Marina Abramovich does on her little island that she does her art bullshit on. Because what she does is she has like 15 artists that come out, and they're all starving artists. And then they do weird shit for 2 weeks, I believe. And then they come back, and then they're reborn in some sort of funny way.
Wow. So here is the guy, John Casablancas, and I found a current ad, and I thought it would be important to point out how young the girls look in his ad for a modeling career.
Within 15 days for having the worst taste in the world. As long as they speak about you in this industry, you're okay. I was just a regular guy who thought about going out with the pretty girls, and I had absolutely no idea what modeling was all about. And I introduced women with shave, short hair, brunettes, brown eyes, and that was very successful. I had the understanding of a guy who loved beautiful women. We built personas, which became the supermodels, which became really exciting to the general public. Because once you have a cover of Vogue, and once your name is attached to big campaigns, big products, it's easy to develop.
You know, there's a ton of those in there as well.
Maybe an insight.
There's a ton of photos of not centerfold, but the cover girls for specific, like I believe it's like 2 different magazines. One is Meta, maybe. Usually it's weird because the photo will be cropped in a way so that the head will cover a portion of the like the lettering.
Weird.
So I can't fully read it, but those are all over there, right? And then you'll see those same women in what looks like somebody's living room. Like it's really weird because it's almost like he's either building these women up to that, similar to what we're hearing with this, or he's scouting for women who have made covers of this, that, and the other. And the way that it seems to go, he doesn't like them on that end of things. He wants to bring them to that. You know what I mean? He wants to be the trauma that forces them to work a modeling career, you know, like, so I don't know.
And why would he want that? Man, it's just so sick. Okay, so we're almost done with John Casablancas, and then I'm going to tell you about this.
I got like 5 more minutes in me.
Okay, you're good. Here we go.
And attitudes which were provocative enough to change things a little bit. And that I'm very, very happy and very proud about.
Casablanca's modelling and acting agency in Rocky Hill. Contact us now to book your audition. We're looking for new faces for TV commercials, catalogue jobs and runway appearances. When you join the John Casablanca's modelling and acting agency family, you're always in the know and on the go.
I am where I am today in my career because of my start here at John Casablanca's.
There's paid work available right here in Connecticut. And John Casablanca's modelling and acting agency is the key to
That's not a big fucking red flag, is that you have a British woman giving the advertisement for a US-based whatever for another guy who's another European who's not from the US. Like, we got to start looking out for these red flags, folks. People are trying to give you advice on your country, and they have an Australian accent. Start to question if they have the right motives in mind, or if they're trying to pull you into something you don't want to be in.
Fucking amen, brother. Okay, so if you have to dip out soon, it's all good. This is Trump telling us that illegals are ruining the country, but also has illegals working at his modeling agency.
This is not a test.
Illegal immigrants with criminal records ordered deported from our country are tonight roaming free to threaten peaceful citizens.
Illegal immigration affects the lives of all Americans. Illegal immigration hurts American workers, burdens American taxpayers, and undermines public safety.
So this is a big deal for him. What we learned was 4 models in various years from 2004 to 2011 encouraged to skirt immigration laws. 2 told me that they were asked to write down false addresses on immigration forms as well. Things like send your portfolio ahead of time by mail so that the customs officials don't find it. And as we know, working as a tourist in the United States...
Signing up for tourist visas rather than working visas, which is a big fucking no-no. You'll get kicked out of the country they find you doing that.
And he rallies against the H-1B1 visa and all these girls he was trying to get on the H-1B1.
Man.
You have to have
Epstein figured out a way to make that work, though, because he was getting girls I don't know how valid it was, but he was getting them passports and visas left and right.
Wow. Yeah, it's so gross, dude. They're selling them a dream because they're perverts.
What's worse is he's a professional at cooking the books on those. Like, he's telling them how to answer, and then when they're like, "Oh, I didn't get it," he'll go, "That's because you fucking did something wrong. You should have answered it like I told you. Don't tell them you're coming to work."
Yep.
Also, it takes a little while. It takes a little while. You try to get a visa, you try to get any of those things, it takes a bit. They got to do their background checks on you, make sure you're whatever clears. You also, let's say you're going over to be a model, you're going over to be a painter, you're going over to do anything, any kind of trade.
Mm-hmm.
They want to make sure that you're the top of your trade. They don't just want some schmuck coming over there. So they, for me, when I was going over there trying to do art and stuff, I had to be publicized. I had to have my own website. I would have had to have been shown in a gallery, and that's to go over there and claim that I'm working as an artist. But without any of those things, they told me to piss off. They laughed at me. They said, "You don't have any of the," because I had some of those things. I'm pretty sure I could have scraped together enough to get by, but it was within I think 2 months was what I was trying for. And I couldn't do it. It was way too quick. I got laughed in my face because I also didn't have $100,000 to just pay somebody, or maybe 10,000, but still.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you have money, you can grease the wheels. And kind of what happens here is that they get here, and then the T management or Trump management, modeling management company. Well, you'll see it here. This girl describes it. They tell them, we're processing it, but they're having them work in the meantime. And then this particular lady leaves, joins another agency, and it was processed within like 2 days.
Oh, that's wild. It reminds me of the Sam Rothstein thing with the movie Casino. It's a real true story. But he was a gangster. He's been arrested too many times. He can't run a fucking casino. So he had to file for the paperwork, and they just kept putting it at the bottom. Because technically you're allowed to work as long as you filed. Once they look at it and they deny you, then you got to get your ass out of there. But if what he was doing was greasing the wheels so that the paper would just kept put on the bottom of the pile.
Yep. And that's kind of what Trump here is doing in reverse. He's keeping these ladies in this limbo status, yet also making money off of their work, and kind of, oh, it's coming. We'll get your visa when it's coming. It's fucking disgusting.
Well, all right. So quick aside, because I got to run. But this is what I noticed was a pattern with the real estate that Jeffrey owned, right? So he had a bunch of different apartments at a bunch of different places. And what I think that he was doing was sending these girls over to go look at an apartment, quote unquote, right? But they're going to his apartment, right? One of his many apartments, right? So he would have his brother Mark go over there and show them around or whatever. Sometimes it'd be somebody else. But I think he already owned those. It was like a false sense of security that these girls, like, I would have assumed if I'm working for you and you put me up in your place, that doesn't come out of my rent. I got to pay for my food. Yeah, I got to pay for my travel and things. But I would imagine that my rent is covered. But now if he's sending you to look at an apartment, now he has a reason to go, oh, I got to take $1,500 out for your rent this month. I got to take this out. I got to take that out. I got to take this out. Yeah. And then you also see a bunch of these girls that has happened to, right? Where they come over from Latvia, Ukraine, Kosovo, there's another one, Malaysia. They come over, and then sometimes he has them at the island. And the island, oh, Tracy Scott, what up?
Hello, Tracy.
So they would be at the island, and they would hate it because there's only like 5 or 6 people and staff there. So they would write it like, I hate being stranded here. Why do you have me here? And then he would bring them to New York, right? And then they would love New York. They never want to go back to the island again because it's fucking desolate. No one's there. It's boring. And that's if there is no horrible rape.
Yeah.
So like,
well,
you
I
can see
have,
a pattern.
Yeah, I have seen, like, going through the files, I have seen some of those files where it's like, what do you mean you're checking out an apartment? Like, what? So I have seen some of those messages and haven't been able to make much sense of them. That's interesting if that's what was going on.
Way more videos. do the MP4 thing where you swap out the JPEG for MP4, and you'll notice after I think it's like the 20th page, you stop seeing jail footage and you start seeing other things, just random other shit.
Well, where do you think I got that lovely dance footage?
Oh yeah, okay. So within that, you'll notice that there are empty apartments that people are walking into, and if you turn the sound all the way up, you can hear a realtor, quote unquote, in the background pointing out certain things. Then you see photographs of empty apartments where girls are taking pictures of the rooms. And then you have, I think it was not Bibi Netanyahu, Ehud Barak is coming by, and his security is talking about putting his own cameras in the place. And Jeffrey's like, I don't care, put as many holes in the walls as you want. I've got enough holes in the walls, you know, like don't worry about it, we'll patch it up. Wink, wink.
Gross.
Dude, crazy. These are all right. So I imagine this is the creepy owner of like some shitty fucking dive bar. You know what I mean? Putting cameras in toilets and crap like that. I don't think of fucking billionaires doing this to their own houses. This is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Right. And I've only ever seen that on the news, like with like the spy cams and shit like that. You know, like that's all you ever hear about is the guy who owns a thing, or maybe it was a customer at a Starbucks who left some shit. But it's never fucking billionaires. But it seems like they enjoy doing it even more.
Yeah, there was I know you got to take off, but there was actually a documentary that came out on Netflix about a gentleman that owned a motel, yet had a secret passageway and what are those two-way mirrors? So he could go watch and even record anybody in any one of the rooms at any time.
Okay, I'm not giving this guy a pass, but you don't know how many stolen towels this guy has had to deal with. He's just looking after his towels, people. Nothing wrong with that. Oh,
yeah, man, it gits frustrating for the small business owner, you know? Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to let her explain it, but basically, yes, it seems like they were keeping her in limbo so that they could just take advantage for as long as possible.
So, Rachel, that brings us to you. You worked with the Trump model management for 3 years. What was your experience in terms of how you got into the country and whether or not you had the right visa?
I definitely didn't have the visa. I got in April 2004, and I only got the visa in September 2004. And between April and August 2004, I spent most of my time in New York and worked and did a lot of jobs to which they deducted taxes.
But was there something different about the Trump model management agency where they skirted the rules even more so than other places that you worked?
I just want to say thank you for paying your taxes.
Yes, I mean, I worked with a different agency when I left Trump, and they got me my visa straight away.
That's as crazy, right? She's paying her taxes, but she's not really getting paid.
She wasn't paying her taxes. It was the scumbag who was giving her the job that I was alluding to, the mysterious list of fucking things that they have to pay this guy back for to stay in his debt.
Yes.
You know, that's what that seems like, right? Like a way to
100%
to have it transactional on both ends, you know? So he seems less culpable. She seems more in control of her destiny type of thing.
Right. And he feels okay walking up and grabbing the butt pussy, right?
Well, I wonder maybe that's like another way of like a skirting tax bullshit, right? Like if you quote unquote are paying the taxes off, or you separate it, you know, and you pay it at the end of the year, they probably will go lighter on you. The IRS only comes after you if you owe them money. You know, they don't just fuck with you most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time they don't fuck with you unless like there's a reason for them to come knocking.
Right.
And it's always like 2 or 3 years later when you're not expecting it.
Right. It's when you could least use it to happen. So, okay. So this is Karen Mulder. I'm sure you know about the Victoria's Secret angels, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Remember when that was like a new thing? Okay. So she was like OG, the original Victoria's Secret angel. And this is her here. She super intelligent. She speaks 5 different languages fluently. She won a modeling competition like these other girls at a very young age. She comes up in this system, this modeling system, for years. And after years, she goes on this show on French television, and she proceeds to tell them that her own father raped her, that she was hypnotized, that there's a trigger word you can use on her where she will basically turn into a zombie and you can do whatever you want to her. All this crazy shit that the whole modeling agency is
That's
rigged,
strange.
right? With these
That's
crazy
strange.
fucks.
With the connection to David Copperfield, Mr. Illusionist extraordinaire, and the
Right.
many others.
And Epstein's like constant obsessive search about how to control people's minds and thoughts.
Yep.
So she says this on the
but
show.
I gotta
Now,
take off.
okay. You watch the rest of the episode when you leave, buddy. Because this
Absolutely.
is interesting.
Thank you so much, brother, for having me. It's always a pleasure. Even though we're covering
Absolutely.
some dark topics, you know, it's always
Yeah,
good to run through the gambit of this country over. You know?
Yep, we got to put it out there. Thank you for coming by, buddy. Always a pleasure.
Anytime. Peace.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks, buddy. Flak Magnet, everyone. Flak Magnet. Let's give it up for Flak Magnet. Okay, Tracy says, I missed the first half, but did you cover the Trump's hotel and boat was all camered up for secret recordings? I did not even catch that story. Thank you for pointing that out. And that is fucking crazy. But unfortunately, like we were just saying, not that surprising with these creepazoids, right? Yes, I love Flak. But you know, it's cold out and he has to go outside to get the best internet. And it's just, yeah, but he's got to go home, stay warm. Okay. So where we were at, Karen Mulder, original Victoria's Secret angel, brilliant mind, but she has this episode on French TV where she tells people that she's been being taken advantage of since a very young age, including by members of her family. So after this episode on this French TV show is completed, the upper management, what have you, decide we're not going to air that episode. We're not going to air it. And then within a week, Karen's family, mother, father, sister, have her committed. They have her committed. Involuntarily. Afterwards, her sister goes on the same French TV talk show to try to do some PR work, which isn't very well done if you're, decent at reading between the lines. So I'm going to show you that interview here. So obviously Victoria's Secret Angels, it really was a phenomenon, right? Like when they first came out, it was a big deal. People were excited about it. They started doing that TV show every year.
10,000 covers, but if they don't know your name, it doesn't. I mean, it's what they call us like the top models. They're like the girls that you like Christy, Naomi, Claudia. People know their name.
That's kind of sad because she basically says there, it doesn't matter if they don't remember your name.
That's why he wants to talk.
No.
It all comes down to sex all the time.
Of course it does. What do you think we're selling? What are you selling?
No, I don't see fashion disappearing, honestly.
And
maybe supermodels. This is Aline Soulier, who's my new agent, and she's fabulous.
Now, if anybody, I haven't had the chance to even dig deep into Eileen Soulier, but I find her to be an interesting character. And what Karen says here is that, hey, I was in the States for 4 years and was hardly getting any jobs. I hire Eileen, boom, I'm the hottest thing, just like Trump says about the country right now, right? She's the hottest thing in. She's the original Victoria's Secret model. She's getting calls for all these jobs. So who is this Eileen lady?
I mean, no, it is true. I mean, I wasn't in the States for like 4 years. Nothing ever happened, and now I have all these things happening.
Always dreamed about representing her, and I mean it, and it's true. So I'm very happy now. My life is almost complete.
The Victoria's Secret Lingerie Extravaganza is the event every model wants a piece of. Few go about their business with as much humor and grace as Karen Mulder.
Okay, so, as I was saying, she's a guest on the show. During the appearance, she talked about elites and her own family even kidnapping and raping teenage models. So this is the show afterwards. Turn it down just a fuzz so I don't feel like I'm yelling at y'all. This is the show afterwards. Her sister, this isn't Karen, after her family has her committed, her sister mind. This wasn't stuff that was real, right? Like this, it's too terrible. It's too awful. There's no way. There's just no way that this could happen. And then her sister comes on and confirms it. Yeah, we had her committed. She was crazy. She was losing her mind. What I find hilarious, and I'm going to pause the interview because I'm not sure if I cut it in or cut it out, but what I find hilarious is that her sister actually says people who come forward and blow the whistle are often made to look like they're crazy. Isn't that what you're doing? Like she's explaining what she's doing to her own sister because it's the truth. But the therapist won't tell her that she's crazy. So they claim the psychoanalyst is the problem. Then, I don't know how they do it. And I think this is crazy too. Because the host of this show even points out, hey, maybe the psychoanalyst opened a door that they don't know how to close. Well, that would insinuate that there's some truth behind that door, right? So it's just, the whole thing is just so strange. It is translated through AI, so the voiceover is not fantastic. Sometimes I think it uses the guy voice instead of the girl voice, but if you pay attention, you can tell who's talking at the time. But she goes back on this show, and the whole thing is just uncomfortable. The questions the guy he starts asking about these weird sexual fantasies and stuff like that. And then the end of the video, they're going to talk about a song because Karen fancies herself a musician as well. They're going to talk about a song that Karen wrote. It's the only song on her whole album that's in English. And it's about justice and revenge, pretty much. Which is crazy. Same. So after not airing her segment, she agrees, yeah, maybe I wasn't in a great place mentally, but she doesn't retract any of her statements. Not a single one.
You can call me crazy, I don't care. I thought you were my friend, that you loved me, but now I see the twisted game you play. I'm that when we...
Damn. All you have to do is turn on your TV to see that justice on this earth doesn't exist. That's rough, y'all. I mean, being beaten down to where that's your outlook, it's sad.
we do wrong in life, at some point or another, it comes back to haunt us or we pay for it in one way or another.
You said at the time, there were things that were a bit crazy and things that were also true.
Yes, most of the things were true, and then there were things where at some point the truth is so great that we say stupid things too.
So that doesn't sound like a retraction to me. It sounds like she said it was true. And sometimes the truth is so fucking crazy, you can't believe it when you hear it. So this is where it gets really weird. I don't know if the host thought she wasn't answering the questions in the right way, or if he wanted to, push her and see if he could get a reaction out of her and get some good ratings for his show, maybe a few clicks. I'm not sure what the motivation here is. But when you consider the claims that she made, the questions he goes on to ask her are absolutely insane.
"49 French people. I don't understand why you can't settle down. For me, it's threesomes."
What is next for you? Do you plan to stay in modeling for the time being? Do you have other ideas?
Yeah, right now I'm planning to do this a couple of more years, maybe 2 or 3 years. And I'm working on something that I don't want to speak about because I'm not finished with it.
Okay. Yes, Tracy, I agree. God bless her. So this song, I basically just snippeted this song up to some of the lines I thought were a little more hard-hitting. But this is the Divine Justice song, cut down, and this is her truth. This is what she's dealing with. And it's what she dealt with. And she told people, and her own family threw her in a fucking loony bin in 2001. After saying, isn't it crazy how they make people look crazy when they tell the truth or they're whistleblowers? I'm sorry. It just, the whole thing is befuddling. Like, how would you treat a member of your family like that? Okay, so here is part of that song, Divine Justice by Karen Mulder.
Proud to be your enemy, believe in magic, they'll throw you a spell. You really should pay attention. There's only one thing.
Wow. So Karen Mulder is alive and well. Well, I don't know how well, but she's alive and she's still around. She's not doing, obviously, modeling anymore. The most recent interview I was able to find with her, she kind of confirms that. She's like, yeah, I'm like old. I'm not getting on the runway model anymore. She still loves to sing. She still loves music. And it sounds like she was able to find a little piece of happiness, you know, at least I hope so, for her sake. So folks, when I started making this video, I wasn't 100% sure where I was going with it. But as I started putting the pieces together, reading the files, reading the emails, watching the videos, looking up the stories, a very clear picture developed that rich, perverted men can buy underage women. Now the pimps that do it, they glamorize it, make it look like a model show. No, they're pimping little girls. And if you have a daughter that has an opportunity to go do something like this, I highly suggest you do a lot of research and that you do not leave that little girl alone for more than 5 minutes with these people, because they will eat her alive. What a world. So the Epstein Files drove me to Karen Mulder because I wanted to see if there were other examples of this, if there's been other folks that have said similar things. And yes, Karen Mulder said the same thing in 2001 that those teenage girls said in 1999. We just don't care. How else do you explain it? What we watched were children being dressed like adults, and it being packaged and sold to us as a good thing for the kids. Y'all, come on. It's not even close to a good thing for the kids. I don't know if Trump was one of the pimps or just one of the participants, but he was involved. He was involved. I mean, Melania came from Trump Model Management Company. He was involved. The 92 crews on that Spirit boat, there have been a lot of stories printed about that. And I encourage you to go do your own research. I don't like to get political on this show because I think politics are a joke. They don't tell us the truth. And that is what it is. But taking advantage of kids, I think everyone in this country agrees. We draw the fucking line there. So fuck all of these people that took advantage of someone else's wonderful, beautiful, lovely child. You pieces of shit. Sorry, y'all. Sorry to end it that way. I get so upset thinking about the things that these pigs will do because they're so fucking selfish. They will absolutely ruin a child's life. It's not like they get over it the next week. You carry something like that with you your entire life. And it was also rich fuckhead could get his rocks off. All right, y'all. that's going to do it for part 5 of the Epstein Files. Thank you for hanging out. Loved having Flak on, and we will see y'all. We're going to do some UFO episodes too, but we will see you back for part 6, because as we do more research, the picture is getting clearer and clearer and clearer. So I hope you stick with us. And yeah. Hey, God bless you too, Tracy. Thank you so much. Everyone, have a great night. I'll see you soon.